dominant company in the private prison industry in the United States is the Corrections Corporation of America. They were the first company to be established back in 1983. And they have, for the last decade or two, pretty well cornered about half of the market in this country. As the market has grown, they've basically kept that market share. The federal detention system is the fastest growing segment of the market for beds. And there was a boom, explosion in detention capacity over the summer of 2006, where the total capacity of about 19,000 beds was expanded rapidly to more than 27,000 beds, about 8,000 bed expansion, and CCA got about half of that new business. So they continue to be the dominant player in a market that really doesn't have a lot of competition going on. I mean, we know that there are alternatives to locking up immigrant detainees, just like there are all kinds of well-researched, solid alternatives to locking up a lot of the people that we have in our state prison system, federal prison system, local jail systems. But the investment, when it comes, when the money's available, always seems to be top-heavy toward custody. Now, particularly when you're talking about the detention of immigrants for whom international standards should apply, the notion that the least necessary restrictions on people's liberty and freedom should apply. And yet, almost all the money that these agencies, that ICE has given and INS before it, goes into bricks and mortars or Kevlar tents, rather than into the systems which have demonstrated themselves as effective in terms of assuring that people who face removal process will show up in court. Part of the problem is inherent to the idea of contracting, that particularly once you're paying a per diem amount for the number for individuals, so that the more people who are detained, the more money is going to be made. The less services that are provided, the lower paid the staff is, the less medical care that's provided, the more profits are going to be made, whether you were talking about a private prison company or a local county jailer. Those are the incentives, and they're not incentives that work for the development or the maintenance of a detention system that can meet the human rights standards that we all wish they would. We're looking at law enforcement crackdown, whether it's ICE or the FBI or local deputies or police authorized under 287G, that is very eerily similar to what we saw over the last 20 years in this country manifest itself in the drug war. Right? We're looking at zero tolerance practices. We're looking now at mass raids. We're looking at a detention capacity that's spiraling to the sky. We're reminded, however, that the drug war in its reliance on supply reduction interventions has not worked. And the vast majority of Americans know that it has not worked, and they will tell public opinion pollsters that it has not worked, and the political enthusiasm or support for the drug war has waned much faster among the public than among our policymakers. I think policymakers who are looking at the issue of immigration enforcement and immigration policy should look at the drug war as a lesson. As long as demand is there, supply-side remedies are not going to work.